Welcome. Hey, David Lane here. Let me adjust some things here. Hey, guess what? It's day 3 of 365 Days of Love, and this has been great so far. It's almost been unbelievable how things can happen and change. But basically, if you're following me, my goal here is to do this every single day for a year. It's going to be very hard and tough and challenging for me. And basically, I want to reach out to people, say hi to them, or shake their hand, meet somebody new, or share something with somebody, or just listening to them, sharing something with me, just showing love, and being authentic, being real, not trying to have an agenda. And I just want to see after 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, what changes happen in my life. If we're doing something, putting something in action and trying to just be friendlier with people and just sharing love, basically. So, first thing I want to talk about, well, yesterday, well, on day 3, it's Saturday, and what a great day. Got to go out and work in the yard, and the sun was shining. It was really a beautiful day. Put mulch down, so we have new, what a lot of people call bark dust, um, down in the yard, in the garden beds and stuff like that. We planted some plants and just worked on the yard as a family, had some fun, did some fun things there, and including seeing my daughter freak out about spiders. And anyways, so yeah, yesterday when I was, well, first before I get into that, I just want to say, part of being authentic is coming from the heart. Um, down in here, you want when things come from here, thoughts or whatever, your brain's trying to protect you, and it's going to tell you can't do things, but your heart will tell you what you can do, what you should do. So you need to follow your heart and let things come from your heart. When we're dealing with people, let it come from the heart, not up here. And we don't want to, in the previous, on the day 2, I talked about um, creating space for the future. That's what I was talking about. And when we do that, it allows us to focus on now and be in the now and doing things right now and taking action now. Because you can't go into the future and change anything. You can't go in there and do something in the future. You can't go in the past and change something or do something in the past. You have to do it right now, because right now is all you got, right this second. You can't do something right now that will be the future. Is that making sense? So do things right now. And when you do this, it comes from the heart. And if you go into a meeting and you're talking from the heart, you don't have some big thing planned out that you're prepared to give some spiel, or like you're selling something. You can't be authentic. You can't come from your heart when you're doing that, because you prepared something to, and you don't even know what's going to come up. If you've prepared something and you're going to just try and get through each thing that you've prepared, and you got to take a time out and get others involved, and situations will come up that you couldn't have planned on. It's about listening to your heart, and in gospel speak, we say it's listening to the Spirit. That's your spirit telling you what is right or what you should do, and you want to act on those things when that happens. And I wasn't planning on talking about this right now, but uh, the bishop of our church had talked to my son about his plans. He's a great friend of our family. He lives a couple doors down the street, and been able to meet with him and a lot, and just get to know him. And he's a great man, and we really care about him, love him. And I'll tell you more about that probably tomorrow or later. Anyways, on day 4. Um, but he told me he'd met with my son Carson, who's 14 now, and they talked about his future, about Carson's future, and what he wants to do when he gets out of school and things like that. And he says, "Well, I want to own a skate park." And I think, when talking to him before, he wants to own a indoor skate park. And who knows? Maybe it's an indoor outdoor. I'm not sure, but it was just cool to be able to talk to the bishop. And I don't know if you can hear the sirens. We live near a fire station, a couple blocks away, so we get to hear all the whenever that sounds like a police car. Anyways, we get to hear sirens a lot. I'm just listening. I'm still hearing more sirens. Anyways, let things come from your heart. Don't plan everything out in detail and make all create all these systems and stuff like that. There's a ton of them out there. If I was you, I wouldn't create something brand new. Just find what works for you, and then tell people about what worked for you, not what they should do, but what worked for you. And you might be amazed at what happens and who will listen to you. I'm not going to sit up here and give you a 6-step program to Tony Robbins something, something he's created. But I might take a piece of what he's done, a piece of his and a piece of someone else's and a piece of someone else's. And if I've put those things to the test and they've worked for me, I'm going to let you know about those things. And I'll put those in as the things that worked for me. And maybe they'll work for you. I can't guarantee it. But it's going to come from my heart. It's going to be things that I've tried and tested. And there are things that I've done that don't work. And I'm not going to try and push you in that direction to get you to do things that didn't work for me. I can't give you a testimony of. So, the things that you share with other people need to come from your heart. Make sure they come from your heart. So the second item I want to talk about is what happened at Home Depot on day 3. I went to Home Depot and I wanted to buy that mulch I was telling you about for the yard. And so I got in line to pay for the mulch. And I had a shirt on. It was a Utah Jazz Take Note shirt. And that was just a playoff shirt for the Utah Jazz NBA basketball team. And I was in line, and there was a lady in front of me, and she just turned around and asked me if I went to the game. And that's really the only place you can get that shirt. You can now purchase it, but most people that have that shirt had gone to the first playoff game that was here in Salt Lake, which was actually game number 3, in which they lost. It was a hard loss. But anyways, so I'm in line at Home Depot, and she just asked me that, hey, did you go to the game? I was like, yeah, I went to the game. It was a hard loss. And, hopefully they'll figure things out by Sunday and fix some things so that they can do better and come out with a better result. And we talked for about 5 minutes there, just talking about team members and things that happened with the game and stuff like that. So it was just nice. I think it's because I'm focusing on this, I'm more open, and I'm able to listen or share with people, or people are willing to share with me. They see that I'm more open. I don't know if I would have come across this if I hadn't been open to a conversation. And I don't know if that makes sense or not, but before, being an introverted person, which I'm not, be an introverted ideas or way of thinking is an item. It's not who I am. It's an item. And what I've done is I've turned instead of fighting that, going, why do I act so shy? Or why do I not talk to other adults about normal things other than sports? The answer was always because I'm introverted. And that is really just a thing. And I learned to, instead of fighting it, to actually love it. I'm an introvert and I love that. And guess what? Now I know how to handle that when that comes up, and I can not be a battle with it. So I can go ahead and talk to people, feel like I can have a conversation with people, even about things that I don't understand. It's okay. If I don't understand it, be curious about it. Ask them questions about it. Oh, so what do you know about this? Instead of just saying, oh, I don't know. Why are you talking to me? That's how I used to handle things. So it was nice to be at Home Depot and be able to have a conversation with somebody. And so that was my way of sharing love, is just talking back and forth about that. And I have on here neighbors. What was I going to say about neighbors? It'll come to me in a minute. I know I have awesome neighbors. They help me out, especially on one side. His name's Eric. And Eric, he's got a great looking lawn. And, his yard just always looks nice. And for some reason, his grass has grown wonderful. And mine is not so good. So I've taken some advice from him on how to get my grass to look better, more like his. And so I'm going to follow his program. He's going to tell me what he does as he does it, so that I can do the same thing. Because as his neighbor, he wants my grass to look good too. He wants my yard to look good. So my yard looks pretty good right now, but the grass is not thick like his is. It's had dandelions and stuff in it, and I've recently sprayed those so they're dying out, which was one of his things that he did. But he did his like a couple weeks before me, so he didn't get any dandelions, and I got them. Now I'm trying to get rid of them and prevent new ones from occurring. So I also know. So one of my other neighbors, who actually lives a couple blocks away, but I know him through church, had come over to my other neighbor's house, to my neighbor right next door, who helps me with the lawn. And he and his wife, I guess they were going on a date with my neighbor and his wife. And so they'd pulled up, and they're all dressed up nice, like they're going to go out and do something. And so as soon as they came out of their car, I was like, hey, thanks for coming over. You're going to help me with my yard. That's awesome. I appreciate that. And of course, oh yeah, no problem. We had a conversation there. And usually I wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't even look over at him or anything. But it was nice, even though I know him, I may not say anything. I don't know him that well, but I know who they are. I know, what they do, because they spoke in church and introduced themselves and stuff like that. But haven't really had much to do with them since then. But it was nice, again, have just a conversation, being open. And so doing this, focusing on this 365 days of love, helps me out tremendously to be more open and to talk to people and share with them or listen to them. Just have a conversation with them. So it's been about 15 minutes on this video so far, so I don't want to take too much more time, maybe 5 more minutes at the most. But I want to tell you about a friend of mine, Becky Sampson, who's more of an acquaintance on not YouTube, but on Facebook. She is a person who had a tough marriage. I'd say she was, and I hope I don't say this wrong, but from what I remember about her story, she had been abused, at least mentally. I don't know about physically or anything like that. And I really don't know more than that. But I do know that it caused her to have low self-esteem and to deal with some of those issues. She would eat, and she became a heavy person after a while. And she was one of those heavier people that you could tell she was really a pretty person, anyways, so she got out of that relationship, that poor relationship, and began focusing on herself. And people told her, no, you can't do it. You can't be on your own. You can't do this, can't do that. And she lost a lot of weight. And in fact, she lost so much weight that she had skin just kind of hanging off her body. And she did it in a great way. She kept it off and everything, but she still had this skin. So she had surgery to get rid of that. But she's come a long ways. I've known her for probably 3 or 4 years or so. And a couple of years ago, I don't think it was last year, I think it was in 2015, she went over to like Europe or something, and just went from one town to the next telling her story. And that was just unbelievable. What courage she has, just going and dropping everything and going to another country, on another part of the world, and just giving from her heart. And she would make some videos now and then. It was just awesome to see her going through that, and it wasn't easy for her to do that. She had to get out of her comfort zone. And I've seen her grow, and so she's been an inspiration to me. And so on this day 3, she, which is on Saturday, she did a Facebook Live, if you're familiar with that. And I didn't know that she was on there until I was doing some homework for school and doing some studying, and I took a time out and I got on my phone and saw that she was on live. So I chimed in and I got on there like the last 2 or 3 minutes of her video. And so it looked like no one had been on there yet. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but that's what happens with Facebook. Nobody knows. It's not scheduled. You just get on and do it. A Facebook Live video. And so she'd been through, I didn't hear the first few minutes of her video. She'd been through several things. I didn't know at the time what she had talked about. But I'd got on. I just said, "Hi, Becky," on there. I texted her on that, and she's talking about her stuff. And then she said, "Oh, hi, David. Thanks for joining." Oh, another person joined and mentioned their name. She goes, "Oh, thank you guys for getting on and listening." And so I had to go back and listen to what her video was about after it was ended, because I missed the most of it. So her video was about it's never too late to love, and that was awesome, because that just fits right in with what I'm doing here. And so if you get a chance, check her out on Facebook, Becky Sampson. You might look up "It's Never Too Late to Love" and listen to what she's saying. I'm not going to be able to go into details because I'm about out of time here, but she says, you can't love somebody until you love yourself. You can't honestly, authentically love somebody until you love yourself. And you can't teach somebody something that you don't know about yourself. And so that was what her video was about. And I really appreciate her. She does a lot of these videos, and she does a great job of it. And so thank you, Becky. And that's about it for today. So go out there, um, put love on people, and I hope somebody will join me with this 365 days of love, because it's really been a blessing to me and helped me in my life to excuse me, to reach out to people and get out of my comfort zone, do some rather difficult things. Just making this video is kind of tough for me, but I'm getting to the point where I'm looking forward to the next video and I'm enjoying it. And so that's it. I appreciate you listening in. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again on day 4 tomorrow. And hopefully you'll learn how to use your heart and be authentic and let things come from your heart. Listen to your heart, or listen to your spirit in guiding you in what you should do and what you should say, and how you should act. And so have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.